Okay, Mitch and Jennifer. All right, I'm ready for y'all.
Hey, by the way, Mitch, congratulations on your real estate event. We had you on the call today, and sounds like a phenomenal event. He was so on point with this event that Steve Earle backed him. That Gary Norris went up
that
there.
is huge. That is huge because what it's saying is that your message is clear, and people are wanting to hear it.
Yeah.
And I've always known that, and I'm glad to see that it's getting clearer.
Okay, we're excited to check this out. Let's see what you got.
Now, we've talked a little bit about limiting beliefs to start off with, and we've all kind of found some of those limiting beliefs that we have inside of ourselves, right? Now,
Okay, so right is when you said right, that is a filler word. Just be aware, because oftentimes we would tend to use filler words, and what you're going to do is you're going to actually use silence as your filler word whenever necessary.
Good point.
Are you with me?
Yes.
I'm get super vulnerable with you guys, and just try to be as honest as I can. In my life, with these limiting beliefs,
Great door shut.
I've taken a lot of them, and I've internalized them. I've placed them on myself.
Love this body language.
As being me. I've taken those labels in my life, and I've made them a part of me. Now, as many know, I'm a combat veteran. I served in Iraq in 2010 to 2011.
Okay, that would be an opportunity for you, Mitch. I'm gonna put you. That would be an opportunity for you to just declare that I am a combat veteran. I served in Iraq. Period.
Just let that sit.
We don't need to know when or how long, because
if you pause there, the audience is going to naturally respond, and they may respond with quiet awe, or maybe they'll even respond with thank you with a round of applause.
Clap. Yes. And so just by letting them know and not putting a time frame on it, then because now I get to determine how long you were in Iraq instead of you telling me that you were there for 2 years. And even though 2 years in a combat zone is a long time, in some people's mind it could or could not be a long time.
Yeah, they could interpret different things about it.
And so just letting them know that you're a combat veteran, that you served in Iraq, then that's gonna be leaving as much to their imagination as I can while giving them information.
Tracy's the authorized person to say this because he also is a veteran. So.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, my combat experience was in Operation Northern Watch, where I was in Turkey, sitting in a nice place for a couple of weeks, and I got combat pay. So your experience and my experience with combat are different.
3 wonderful girls and 1 on the way when I left was not the me that drove convoys and had to shoot at stuff and had to watch for roadside bumps and be hyper vigilant all the time. That me was not the same me that tucked my kids in bed
wow,
before
good point.
Yes.
I went overseas.
Okay, you do have your hands. You're bringing your hands together, and that may be a closed off situation, but I'd encourage you to allow your hands to come out and to rest by your side when you're not using them on purpose, so that you can be open to us, because you are getting very vulnerable, and as a veteran, then it's going to be a natural thing for you to close off. So you may want to consciously choose into becoming as open as you can in your posturing while you're talking.
I was just going to say with that, I want to see you stand tall with an open chest and shoulders back. Stand as if you're at attention. You know how to do that. Mm-hmm. Not stiff, but strong and open. That's what I want to see in you, because your message is going to be delivered with as much power as your body will allow.
Over there, I started to identify that was me, right? And the longer I spent away from my family, the less time I could remember what it was like to be a dad. I was just this completely different person. And I placed these labels on myself that I was, security and that kind and
Okay, so if you're going to have labels that you're placing on yourself, then I would just have 2 or 3 labels that you're ready for. You know exactly what you're going to say, and will give me an idea of what kind of labels that you put on without spending a lot of time focusing on it.
Mm-hmm.
that I was quick to action, that I was angry, that I had hate. I learned how to hate when I was in Iraq. I learned how to look at other people and place labels on them. Terrorist, enemy, coward.
And that kept you alive
Dogs.
in that moment.
I love how you said that you learned how to hate. That hate is a learned response,
Wow.
not a natural way of being. So use that line heavily. I learned how to hate.
People. And I placed labels on myself. And when I came home, I had to try to relearn who I was and who my family was to me, who the people in the grocery store were. You ever imagine going through a grocery store?
Ooh.
And
Okay,
stopping?
the amount that you hunched down there,
You were hunkered down.
you were hunkered down. And I don't even know if you know that you did that, but it says something to me about how you approached people at that. Look,
I felt it.
you lost 6 to 8 inches in that self-protection hunkered down position. So if you're going to do that, I want you, it's fine. I like it actually, but do it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So make it more. When I was in the grocery store, I would walk around like this and just observe that body language. I think it lends power to your message.
And looking down the aisles because you thought there might be somebody down the aisle. I started labeling people around me in my own community.
Because we're also using this as teaching purposes, then I'm already questioning why Jennifer is on the stage at this moment. So this is just an observation. And Jennifer, you're doing a great job, Jen, because you're looking at him and paying attention. You're attentive to his message, which is powerful. But I'm just asking that question: why are you on the stage at this moment? And so anytime that I'm going to do, when Marianne and I are facilitating together, oftentimes we are on the stage at the same time. And if you'll notice that one of us will move to the corner of the stage or move to the back part of the stage, allowing for the other person to have. And I realize that you're in a small area, and so there may not be the ability to move around as much, but this is something to just be aware of.
And when Tracy and I are usually facilitating on stage together, or when you have 2 facilitators on stage at any time, usually there won't go a time of more than 90 seconds to 2 minutes where they don't...
Back and forth, yes.
Exactly, yeah.
The same way that I did when I was over there.
How many of you, by raise of hand, how many of you...
It's funny how they always jump into it right when we say something.
So right when I ask the question, then you're ready to go and speak. I'm liking it. The hand went up a little bit fast because I want to make the hand go up on purpose when I'm ready for them to really answer my question.
So like you're raising your hand with them.
have found how easy it is to label other people. Maybe not the same labels that Mitch has used in his story and in his experience, but coward, cheater.
Okay, if you were to say maybe not, then you're kind of taking that away from people, because maybe they are using the same labels, not for the same reasons. Maybe not, but maybe you can say this. Maybe some of your labels sound the same as Mitch's. Maybe some of your labels sound different than Mitch's. What labels have you heard before?
And giving examples is indeed powerful. And I'm sure you're about to go into it here in a second. So,
Liar, goes on and on and on. Is that something you all know? Yeah.
Okay, then raise your
How
hand.
many of you like to be able to, in a really genuine, quick way, be able to label people with more positive, powerful names or energy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tonight, Mitch and I have a really great experience for you. And how many of you are familiar with speed dating? Yeah, tonight we're going to do something really similar to speed dating. It's called speed labeling.
Speed greatness.
So, thank you. Speed greatness. We're just
we want to be great,
we're stuck
right?
on labels.
We don't want to be labeled. We want to be
Okay,
great.
this transition feels a little bit jolting to me. Of how many of you have had horrible labels? Now, who wants to do speed greatness? You know, it's a little bit. We're missing a transitional piece there.
Yes.
It feels like there needs to be some kind of in between when you bring in your story and maybe take part of your personal story and express what you felt at Limitless. Now, I remember when I got to Limitless and there was this process called the greatness I see in you, and all I could think of was those old labels until I looked someone right in the eye and they started to tell me words of life. And I remember realizing it felt totally different. Maybe this person that you had labeled as a coward was now standing in front of you telling you how great you were, and you found yourself having to remove that label and instead place a label of admiration. You know, so it needs some kind of transitional piece between your personal story and what you're about to teach them.
Great. So we're going to get an opportunity to quickly experience the greatness in another person. Now, you don't have to take 5 minutes with somebody to really see how amazing they are. And so in speed greatness, you're going to get an opportunity to stand in front of your teammates and in just a few seconds, feel them, see them, ask the question in your mind, and listen to the answer. And once you have that answer, we're going to pass out some labels and some pens. Some of you already have your pens. Each of you will get a set of labels. Stand in front of your person. And when you feel that inspiration come, write that word or that phrase down.
Remember to say in just a moment and
as
give them,
you write down that
let them
phrase,
know it's not happening
just go
now.
ahead and place it on their
Just
shoulder,
say
and then move and find another partner.
in a few minutes
And
or
do
in a
the same
moment.
thing. Take a moment. Look into their eyes, and in complete silence, look into each other's eyes. Feel that inspiration. See who they really are. Write that
It's a
down.
great point for music.
And place it on their shoulder.
So we're going to invite you to all stand up. That would be stand up.
Good.
Again, we invite you to do this in silence
Very good instructions.
so you can feel the power
Oh, there's
of the
people there.
silence without verbiage. We'll hand out, yeah, let's do 2. You know, let's do 3 because there's enough. We're going to give you 3 sheets of labels so you have an opportunity to come face to face with each one of your teammates if you choose to do so.
And then at the end of this experience, we invite you to take a moment once you've received or given away all your labels and received all your labels from each person. Take a moment and we'll get you a piece of paper.
Don't worry, I
and
put
take a moment to journal.
Mary on
Write down.
on pause so she can't
How do
move
these
right now.
labels make you feel? Because for me,
It's a labels process.
when we do like the greatness I see in you, it goes in one ear and out the other. I always no, I can't accept a compliment. That is one of my biggest flaws.
I wouldn't.
That's negative, and you're trying to go into a positive. So I wouldn't even explain how that in the past, unless you were explaining that 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and there's a difference between, and I think what you're trying to do is this. I think you're trying to build on previous experience, which is great, especially if they've been to Limitless before and they know what the greatness they see in you is, or if you've done it here before. There's a way to do that builds upon it, and there's a way to do that compares the two. You don't want to make a comparison as if one is greater than the other. What you want to do is you say things like, do you remember the greatness I see in you? This is your opportunity to have just as much impact in half the time. This is a great way to share the greatness I see in you with just as much power and with something that they can take home. You see the difference, how it's like, it's better than the greatness I see in you because, you know, this is building upon it. So make sure you're building it up.
Is that I cannot accept a compliment very well. But when it's written down in evidence, I can't change it. It doesn't get garbled by my internal anti-ego. So take a moment.
So what you're teaching right there is a powerful
Is
moment.
there
I
anyone
think
who
if it
doesn't
were
have
just
the
in a
labels yet?
different
So would
sequencing.
you please raise your hand?
Yeah, there's music in the Mentor Maker page that you'll want to go
And with
download
that,
that you can use for this, and I encourage you to
Go
get
ahead and
familiar with
begin
that music
silence,
so that you can play
facing
it from
your
your
teammates
phone
and
even.
writing the greatness you see in them.
Okay, do you see that awkward moment when we're like, I don't know if I should be starting or, okay, you need to say ready, begin.
Clear instructions. And Jen, we weren't able to hear any of your story, so I don't know who you are, or even if I want to or desire to listen to you at this moment. Just because I haven't heard anything about you other than you're standing on the stage with Mitch.
I don't think she even got an introduction. I think I heard her name once, but she didn't.
And you do have a powerful message to give, and so
Yeah, totally. Your
we
story is
would
powerful.
want to hear part of your story. Because people that run for days at a time are kind of crazy, and that's a cool story.
Yeah, this definitely needs some music.
And can you see how with the music playing in the background that would change the whole scenario?
Don't worry, I got your back. Hang on. Okay, look here.
And Mitch actually was helping people put that together on their phones. So he's got all of that.
You've got all of these. Make sure they're grouped in the right levels. Okay?
You can turn on the music.
I'm totally going to turn on the music. It's very nice, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, let's fast forward here.
So this is good, and it looks like you've got your audience are participating with you.
Yeah.
In a powerful way.
Yeah, I really like that you're going to the audience. That gives you great credibility as a speaker. In the limitless audience, it doesn't work so well because you're on a physical stage, but this is nice. You can give instructions if you need to while you are facilitating this process. Like give little hints like, what are you seeing right now? What are you seeing? Joy? Are you seeing experience? Are you seeing greatness? So you can inspire them with words along the way.
We have about 2 minutes.
Good, good.
When you're done, feel free to sit down and look at your labels and start journaling.
Okay, I'm not sure if you gave them instructions before about journaling. Just make that very, very clear and say, when you're done, I invite you to sit down and take a look at your labels. And you may even want to write it down in your journal. But only do that after you're already seeing people sit down.
And go to your seats, please.
Ready to curvy head tuck.
Looks like we have a couple getting finished up here, but as we do,
As everybody takes a look at their new labels, how people truly see them. Because I truly believe that the greatness I see in you is a window into somebody's soul. It is a true perception of what that person is. Without all the superficial labels that the world places on
Okay,
us.
hang on. You said superficial labels, which
Which you just place Actually, you kind of place superficial
We kind of just did that.
labels on people. So I get what you're saying, but you may want to look at the language there.
Yeah, if you say superficial labels, it may discredit the labels that you've just put on people. Oh, these are just superficial labels. See, I can easily physically take this off. So maybe say something like, instead of labels that see the worst in people, what if we always were labels that saw the best in people?
And that would be a great place where you could also add in that, what if I choose to interact with individuals and place positive labels on them in all my interactions?
The differences between us in race, in language,
And you got all white people who speak English.
all of these different separations.
You're the only guy in the room.
Filled with divisions. And here, when we take a moment to truly ground and look into each other's eyes and see who we really are, it's just powerful.
So that phrase, "it's just powerful," could be more powerful.
Instead of just being powerful, it could be powerful.
Yeah, so if you're going to say it's just powerful, I understand that you feel it because I know you, but state that powerfully. And even get an enrolling question on it. Would you say it's extremely powerful to see the greatness in another person?
Yes.
Yeah.
I invite, is there someone that would like to share?
Hands going up a little bit early.
With our new labels?
Okay, and rather than saying if there's someone who would like to share, you would say who. Exactly. Who would like to share?
Who would like to share? Because you're assuming that somebody wants to share, and maybe there's a multiplicity of individuals.
Mm-hmm.
There's one on here now.
No, we have a tradition here at Limitless.
Nice.
You just stand and say your name for us.
Good.
My name is Kristen.
Hi.
Hey, Kristen.
So I've always
Mitch
thought
Barney's
of
your
myself
husband,
as
huh?
being a peacemaker. Like since I was little, like when somebody would say, "What is your strength?" I would say, "I'm a peacemaker." And someone wrote on here, aware of people and feeling able to assess and mediate. And I've kind of forgotten that peacemaker feeling because things are so hectic sometimes in my life that it was nice to have that reminder that even as a kid, I know I'm a peacemaker and that
Cool.
I am still a peacemaker.
That's a great share.
Extra love.
Let's see if he does it. Let's see if he does
Is
it.
there anyone else who'd like to share?
Okay, so when you have a share that's cool like that, expound on it. Say,
Repeat it back or somehow.
Yeah, say, isn't it interesting how sometimes the greatness isn't news, it's a reminder.
How many of you have experienced that reminder today? Oh, now you can get the whole group engaged, and they're like, yeah, wow, this is, I didn't remember that I was that cool, or I was, but other people see me in a certain way.
And when you do what Tracy said and have other people say, how many of you have felt that same way? It gets them used to raising their hands so that when you're asking for another share, they're already used to this motion.
Their experience of speed greatness.
You can fill in this space here by saying, what are you
You're all in
feeling?
awe.
What are you experiencing?
How many of you felt like it wasn't? How many of you felt a little bit nervous at first? Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Yeah, that's real. Okay, once it got started, how many of you actually were able to stand in front of that person and go, there it is?
I like those two questions, Jen. Those are good.
With every situation that you approach, with every person that you approach. And so.
And Jen, working on your hand, so your hand is going up right now before you're ready to ask the question.
Sure.
I'm Sharon.
Hey, Sharon.
A couple times I was looking at somebody and I went to write something, and as I was writing, what I was writing changed, and that wasn't me. That was, the golf thing.
God thing,
just
is that what she
writing
said?
a different word than I had intended to write. So that was cool.
The God thing.
So that could be another opportunity for you to speak back what that individual just said.
Yeah, build on their share.
How powerful is that we can often start to say something, and then the intuition, the thought comes into my mind that they're even greater than what I thought at first. Wow, that is a powerful one that most of the people can relate to. I know that I've had that experience when doing this particular process where I felt that same thing. I was about to write one thing and then another word flowed off of my pen. So that's kind of cool.
Very cool.
Now, my challenge to you is to take this experience and share it with those around you. And if you feel like you want this more and more in your life, we invite you to speak with some of our Pathfinders to look at becoming more part of our family with the inner circle.
Do you have Pathfinders there?
By playing big, if you feel like this is something that you want to incorporate into your life, we want you to invite your friends to come and be a part of our tribe. And one way, I found a way to do this earlier this week, is that I would pull up my phone and I pulled up a picture of one of my friends. And I looked at that picture
Oh, I like this.
just like how we did just now. And then I flipped it over to my text messages and I sent that friend a message.
I like that. Very good.
Wow,
Very
the greatness I see in you text
And it's
messaging.
like,
Love
it
that.
was intuition.
Mitch, you may have just created some new part of a process.
And so
It's very
I
cool.
feel that we can really be a positive change.
It's in there in the text in the beginning, but I like your placement.
If you
What was that in there?
ground
It's at the
yourself,
beginning,
go
but-
to intuition.
He's like telling him to do it,
Let
which
the
I like.
picture
Nice.
of them for a moment, and then send them a heartfelt message. Send them how you see them, and it'll come back to you tenfold.
And if you want to join lots of other people who are doing the same thing, we invite you to come to one of our intensives. We have Wealth Intensive. We have
Connections Intensive.
Connections Intensive. That word.
Intensive.
And this weekend we have actually a Health Intensive coming up. There are also various regionals around that you would be more than welcome to
Okay,
come to.
whenever I'm
And
giving
the next
instruction,
one
I don't
is-
want to give too much information. I want to tell them and lead them to a specific place, not to a multiplicity of places.
Yeah, Mitch
Academy.
Maker. So if
Hey,
you
Mitch
know
Maker.
if you know anyone who'd be interested, or you yourself, we invite you to join us at any of our events, and you can contact us or any of the people in this room for further information. And with that,
That's a wrap.
that's a wrap.
Everybody turn to your neighbor, give them a high five, say, "You are limitless."
You are limitless. You are limitless.
All right, we're pointing back at you. Back to you.
Okay, that was fun. Okay, awesome. Well, Tracy and I will discuss this certification process. We'll get back to you via email, and we look forward to watching your other videos. Thanks so much for submitting this, guys.
Awesome.
Nice
Thanks.
work.